Attention gamers, every new season Riot Games goes through their yearly scramble fest to find something to freshen up this piss pit of a toxic tilt fest they as a company talk about like it's a game and we as players talk about at our Addicts Anonymous meetings, and there's always a gray line between change being hard and them just implementing dog water awful new crap as they either introduce a new aspect to the rift that makes games more unbalanced than a drunk parakeet with an amputated leg while other changes are so bad that they are literally resorting to banning players for trying them out. So then they fall back to this psycho cycle where they take the candy away then give it back every few years to make them appear like they are changing the game while really just recycling old ideas, which incidentally is also how you become a league YouTuber. But anyways, Shojin is back, the CDR beefy boy make me run faster when I'm about to die monstrosity, and everything about this old item makes the hardstuck ADC inside of me think it would bring back lethality marksman. So full disclosure, this video started with me wanting to shoot Cupid's arrows up all sorts of asses, but a combination of events related to my pike having a fetish for overextending worse than a dislocated elbow, and then responding to four-person ganks by pacing around in the danger zone like he has some weird reverse pee-shy condition where he can only piss if it's in front of a crowd. Which had me scrambling more than the board game paired with a run-in with one of Riot's actual new items, which as I stated earlier yields some slight balancing issues to the point where big-ass trolls can build one tank item and become invulnerable, and we were crafting the recipe for tilt. Throw a late game Vagar into the mix and I was having second thoughts on this idea and ready to bring back an old meme, Shojin time. But considering it scales with bonus AD and movement speed, I actually think it'd be the peanut butter to counting Dracula's jelly, so all I had to do was figure out what other items I would be building, like finish off the build with 5-star boots and gloves. And you're probably thinking, damn, this looks more like Raid Shadow Legends than League, but Rav's newest champ Korgun looks like he's about to destroy everyone. Today I want to talk about 3 reasons why you should give the Rady Shady a quick try. Starting with numero uno, it hits home in the need for every little boy and girl to grow up and build a collection of something. For example, look at all the champs I've gotten so far and watch the Christmas morning feeling I get when I loot a new shard to add one more to my collection. Okay, actually that guy is shit. 2 for number 2, because you will never take another unproductive one in your life. For example, this is how I shot the footage for the intro. And finally 3, the game gets updated with new stuff so often that it never gets old to play. For example, just now they are literally adding an entire new faction, the Sylvan Watchers, with tons of elven looking champs to collect, not to mention a new season of Forge Pass and events like if you are an Amazon Prime member you can get these exclusive rewards. So if this sounds good, using my link in the description or scanning my QR supports my content, but also will get you Silver Energy XP, a shard and a new champ Terrell, which should perform better than my newest one. And let's get back to League. Alright, so a bit of lore into this game's anime arc. My jungler immediately feels the need to confess that it's been 10 months since his last relapse and has no clue what's going on, and I'm thinking, well, this is going to be a 4v5 because Riot makes a game that rewards players for investing time and improving their skills over, I dunno, just playing an OP champ, right?
A few moments later.
Unstoppable.
But anyways, the early game is a farm fest outside of one ugly death that I edited out to make you think I have more than a 3-inch gamer penis, and then things get juicy when Cuddles, the pajamaed up fat oak tree, decides to molest my ankles. So I elegantly play this first fight to damn near perfection by using a total of 0 abilities and attacks, all in the grand suspense theme of this champ to get Perky Nips the pirate low and then yell 4 in her face for a surprise you dead now combo. Then I appropriately realize that I'm low in health and stay away from the fight, knowing that Maokai can kill me if I greed too much, which would make this entire circle jerk of a fight. Then a few minutes pass and I get to meet their jungler, who is bald and blind and looking like a tanning bed really had its way with him, so I feel bad and say fine, he can stay, to which he pulls quite literally the biggest damn beetle I've ever seen in my life out of his pocket, and I'm thinking that's a wild way to be a courteous guest, so I go full-blown Bobby Bazooka thinking I need to thin this wave or my ass will be grass and they will all be lawn mowers, and sure enough I was right. The creepy-ass wave of kitten-faced bark roots comes ground humping its way over, so I have no choice but to ask Samira where all her health went before lending some purple drank as a last supper to the dying tree for the double. And then if you are wondering where that train wreck of a house guest who tried to infest my fucking house with bugs escaped to, I'm happy to report that Mr. I have a life and go to college and don't know anything about this game anymore was happy to demonstrate how literally none of that matters when you get ahead on this floating Freljordian shithole of an island. They are now beating on my tower because I have the wave management of a burnt plastic catheter, but I know the Fed Kitty is around to get litty, so I try to communicate with my teammate in League of Legends like many brave men before me have tried, which unsurprisingly results in nothing. But thankfully Rengar is like, I pushed my alt key for this and I'm not leaving without at least making this ADC contemplate uninstalling the game, which goes exactly how it's designed to go. And then me and my support make sure our attendance is recorded with some undeniable synergy, but that's not important if you can count all the way to 4. A few minutes later my pike is low, mostly due to him being a knuckle-dragging Neanderthal, which baits a fight on top of the blue babies and lets him use his BOGO coupon on crop dust stuns, making Samira's shield bow feel stupid for even showing up to work today, as I then follow it up by launching a W into the wrong planet. But the fact that their support was greedy and ours would climb over a glass wall to see what's behind it resulted in an even trade as Baldy Locks showed up, so I finished off the PJ plant before he pulled another Godzilla crab out of his ass, but he opts to kick me towards safety instead, so I lend him a seatbelt and let him show this windshitter all the flashy mechanics that he's clearly perfected as I launch the triangle of terror to get a better view of the homicide-suicide from afar.
And making sure no one was left alive.
I've now reached the notorious tilt threshold in this Samira, where the goal is no longer to win the game but rather to demonstrate that your family tree is a cactus because you're nothing more than a prick. But rarely is this not my own teammate, so I go to collect my free gold only to be cock-blocked hard by Riot's superb game design, but luckily I was able to land the first W in my life and still collect her douche-diluted bag. And yeah, people are gonna be like, oh Rav, lick my balls, showed Jin doesn't reduce ult cooldown, and the reason I could give two shits is because my ult brings me nothing but sadness. Anyways, I'm already top, so might as well let this Nightbringer windshitter know that I still can't land a W if my life depended on it before flashing to bust a nut into his wind condom. RIP the trap that I thought would be a grand idea at the time, but I know that sooner than later he will prove to be just another yasshole, as instead of kiting back and then peeling with his tornado he douche dashes into danger and we part ways, knowing that the bitch totally forgot how to stop, drop and roll. Then we are all hanging out mid because this is silver and it's 18 minutes into the game, so we don't really know what else to do as Troll Tits goes full ARAM aggression, so I launch the death simulation and fire a few bigs at the Netflix and chill tree until I earn the legendary title. And at this point I'm so fed I can practically higher interest rates and buttfuck US citizens with the concept of taxes, but it also means I can play fights like the one your eyeballs are unfortunately having to witness in a way that may have you questioning if I'm playing on a keyboard or an Etch-a-Sketch and still come out on top of dead KFC mascots like this. Then I'm escorting the Hufflepuff babies down to their genocide by laser statue when I see the fat slumber party Sequoia getting immediate buyer's remorse on his last engage, so I root the shitter and then pace around for a few seconds, making the audience think that I forgot what comes after 3, but I do this counting shit all day every day. I know it's 4, I just wanted to steal the kill like the degenerate league player I am. And to be honest, I was ready to call it a day, go collect a collector, but he who shits wind was determined to fail an IQ test in front of us, so I keep my distance from the swirling weaponized fart that he charged up, and then I come in to inform him that his carbon curtain was suboptimal before removing a large portion of his health all at once. Then full disclosure, I was hands down about to pick this 1v2, knowing I won the last encounter with Bird Hitler here without landing a single ability, but my support ruins my pending montage before dashing through what should be a non-dashable through wall. Good job on that consistency, Uncle Rito, as I yell some numbers at Frankie Feathers. Pike gets cold feet on his X drawing capabilities and I'm left as a simple man, chasing a diabetic tree dressed like a toddler during bedtime who thinks releasing his purple kitty titty faced root wave will save him, but my W accuracy is evolving and we all reverse Mr. Beast's effort to plant trees by a count of 1. And just to spark your memory, this item gives CDR health and a buttload of movement speed when you are in those ass cheek clenching battles that you want to greet flash and whiff an auto then get your kill, which makes you tanky and spanky enough to run around tiptoe number mumbling in the face of danger until someone who hasn't played League in 10 months comes by to one-shot everyone purely because the champ he is playing. Then everyone is dead except for one final fern wearing a pink Supreme hoodie looking all cuddly and ready to be killed. And personally I wanted to extend the game, go back, do some shopping, big boy smurf mode, but win shitters after 20 minutes and are just like death donors, and I'm not gonna turn down free cash, so I stick around long enough to slap the shit out of him while reaffirming my opinion that the only test this pike ever got an A on was a blood test, but I wasn't about to greedily give my shutdown, so I backed off. Rengar is off being a fucking good student again, which is a bad marketing piece for Riot if you ask me. Having someone go legendary in their game while simultaneously saying he would rather get back to doing his homework, but hey, why not one more ult where I fire a few rounds at the ghost of the dead when shitters past and then I let sleeping bag Moakai reenact the plot of the Giving Tree one last time before I end the game oh so poetically by fountain fucking that bald guy who brought beetles into my house the one time I graciously welcomed him in, and with that, Shojin is back and I 1 am happy. Rav out.